Was that your first rebuttal?
Oh, my first rebuttal. Okay,
5
so,
minutes.
gotcha. Back on it. So let's talk about causality, since that seems to be a budding issue here. I want to talk about something called conscious intention. Conscious intention. So in other words, just because there is something in the causal chain that is prior to my conscious intent, that is my will, which I think is free, this does not prove that that conscious intent is not also causally efficacious. That is, they're not mutually exclusive things. In other words, let me give you an example here. Let's say you had a firework of some sort, right? It's got a fuse. In order to get that thing to explode, you have to light that fuse, right? That is the initial cause. Well, what else is required there? The fuse itself. So the cause of lighting the fireworks for the fuse to ignite it once it gets to the gunpowder, I would equate as that's your free will. That's the willing aspect that leads to the overall achievement of the goal or end. Yeah, go ahead.
Or do I get to go back and forth, or I don't get it?
I'm going to keep going. This other aspect about could people do otherwise, because that was mentioned out here as well. When it comes to judgments, if we are causally determined, why do we have instances of regret? That is, there seems to be an element of our experience that allows us to suggest, I could have done otherwise. And this is the reason why I feel that regret. So when I feel that regret, that is another sentiment or emotion or experience that I have that's part of the phenomenon of telling me that I have free will. That in fact I could have been a different person had I chosen to be in that moment. I'll stop there.
Nico?
Am I rebuttaling his point, or am I responding?
Yes, and 2 minutes.
I'm responding to what you
Yes,
said.
I just said.
Okay. Now with the firework, yes, the fuse is also necessary for the firework to light, which is our will. But could the firework have lit in itself without the flame? So wouldn't both things be necessary in order for it to light? And that means that the
Yeah,
fuse
absolutely.
itself cannot be responsible for it.
Yeah, they're not mutually exclusive. That's my exact point.
But
The cause, again, this is an analogy, right? So the cause of the fireworks explosion requires the first cause being the light. Well, the will has to do something in order for that light to manifest into the explosion.
But it couldn't have done anything without the light. That's my problem.
Oh, well, we're already here. I don't have to worry about that. That's the nature of existence. The cause of my reality and me being here has already happened for me. Parents, God, whoever, right? The nature of our existence is already established. That's the cause. So when we exist, boom, we are born as free creatures.
I don't see how we can be free when we are constantly reacting to environments we don't control. Just like the firework can't decide to light itself just based on having a wick. It requires also
The ignition is...
Like, I understand where you
first
see we
cause.
have a will. We can choose between things depending on what we know. But is that will uncaused? And that's where I break
Well, I
down.
think that
No,
the
it's not.
part of the part of the wick is the conscious intention. My conscious intention tells me that I can act in a particular way or not act in that way. And it's not solely caused by everything that comes preceding. It's just part of the nature of existence that we are influenced by those other factors. So the will itself is in this constant fuse,
Okay,
where all of those causes are ignitions of that fuse.
30
Okay.
seconds.
I'm going to move on to regret. And
Yeah.
I'd say that regret comes from perception of options we don't choose, but we don't choose them because we don't have sufficient desire or knowledge of the consequences of those choices. Like, we can perceive them, but that doesn't mean we could actually choose them with the state of our mind being as it is at the time of choosing it.
Yeah, regret is essential for moral culpability, and especially for Aristotle, if we're talking about the nature of morality, it's about habituation. The reason why we have regret is because we haven't habitually become the person of good character, and we're missing something, and only the will can make that happen.
I think that
The environment is not going to do it for us.
I think that vision of the good character comes from environment, though. We have to learn what a good person
Sure,
is. in
but
order-
we have to be that person. We can't expect A or B person to say, oh, well, I'll just make you be a good person. My will has to manifest that. I have to become that person. And I will only do that if I'm the willing agent.
I agree. I just say that's just a link within the causal chain.
I agree, there's a causal chain. I don't think it's caused in such a way as to say that I'm not free to actually choose to be a person of good character or not.
I'd say you cannot choose to be a person of bad character. Like, it's just something you can't choose to do. You choose what you think is best according to your desires.
Yeah, so you'd be a state of ignorance if you were, say, to choose the person that doesn't have good ethos, would be my argument.
All right, let's move to closing remarks. Travis?
Okay, let me, since I'll roll with the punches here, everybody is given quotes, so I got a couple of those too. So let me give you one from William Ernest Henley. He says that I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. Very eloquent. William James, pragmatist. Our first act of freedom, if we are free, ought to be to affirm that we are free. So from this I gather that if we are free, or free will genuinely exists, then the exercise of this free will is the strongest evidence for its existence. And then I would ask, what difference does it make in actual life to accept free will or determinism? This is the major difference. The existence of possibilities, of things that may but need not be. That's my quote.
I like that.
I'd say that the existence of possibilities on...
It's your closing.
Yeah, it's your closing.
It takes us outside afterwards.
Right. We've been doing this for weeks, so.
If free will exists isolated from influence, peace on earth requires that those who wish to do good maintain dominance over those who wish to do bad. You cannot change or present undesirable behaviors in people whose will cannot be influenced. So the only option is to identify bad-willed people and forcibly strip their capacity to do what the majority considers bad. And that's pretty much it for me.
Okay, thank you.